Good afternoon, this is Jason Griswack with a weather briefing for the potential winter storm late tonight into Thursday morning. Potential impacts, we have some strong winds along the west slopes of the Franklins and Oregons. This means potential hazards for especially high-profile vehicles traveling along the north-south routes, especially Interstate 10. Patchy freezing drizzle late this evening into the morning hours. May get some travel disruptions, maybe even some school closings, depending on exactly where this occurs. And it may be most favorable along the eastern slopes of the area mountains, where they can maybe get a little bit more lift. Wind chill temperatures will be falling to about 10 to 25 degrees as well. We do have some certainties. There's already some low clouds and fog moving into the Sacramento Mountains, which will be moving westward through the remainder of the afternoon into the overnight hours. Our temperatures will be dropping below freezing across the entire region as this cold front moves through. And there will be some warm air moving in aloft, which will allow for some melting of the snow starting out at the higher reaches of the atmosphere. And as it stated earlier, the windy conditions are expected along the west slopes of the area mountains. We do have one uncertainty. Will it really precipitate? There isn't going to be a whole lot of lift, as I'll show in the next slide. We're going to have upper low well off to our west, and just going to be some the warm air riding over the cold air, which may provide just enough of a lifting mechanism to produce some freezing drizzle. As you can see, our upper lows off near the Baja California coast, and have the cold air moving well into New Mexico, into the Boot Heel region. May stay out of the Gila region, but everywhere else will see definitely be below freezing. The warm air aloft will be melting any kind of snowflakes that may develop in the upper atmosphere, and there's going to be enough time for them to freeze before they reach the surface. So once they do, that's when we'll start getting the slick roads developing. Taking a look at a sounding for El Paso Thursday morning, the blue lines indicating the freezing temperatures, and you can see that there's a depth of about 6,000 feet where the snow particles will be dropping through, which is going to be above freezing, and allowing it to melt before it makes it back down into the sub-freezing temperatures near the surface. Probably not enough of a cold layer to get them to refreeze in the form of sleet, so we do expect any kind of precipitation that develops to be in the form of most likely freezing drizzle. And taking a quick look at this graphic, you can see what I was just describing. You can see the snowflakes dropping into that warm air aloft, melting, and not having enough time to freeze before reaching the surface, so that's when we'll expect this freezing drizzle to occur. Earlier we had stated we thought maybe sleet could be possible, or just a cold rain, but based on the profiles all the models are showing, we believe that freezing drizzle is the most likely scenario. Advisories currently in effect. We do have a wind advisory through 5 a.m. for the west slopes of area mountains of the Franklins and the Oregons. Those winds have already started to develop this afternoon and will continue to strengthen as the day goes on. And we're going to be issuing a winter weather advisory. It's going to be in effect from midnight to 9 a.m. Mainly for the border areas right along the U.S.-Mexican border for the potential of freezing drizzle. We don't expect this to be particularly widespread, but any areas that do receive the freezing drizzle can expect to have some significant impacts. Current advisories in effect. You can see purple areas. All the colored areas do have a winter weather advisory in effect from midnight till 9 a.m. for the freezing drizzle, as I've been talking about. And the blue area also includes that wind advisory for the west slopes of the Franklin and Oregon mountains. Outlook for Friday, there's a potential again for some rain or freezing rain and drizzle, particularly across northern areas, Sierra, maybe lower elevations of Grant County into northern Otero County. Temperatures could be dropping to right near freezing for the lowlands, so there could be some areas where see some rain, some areas that get some freezing precipitation. And as you go up higher into the Sacramento Mountains, we'll be cooling off enough where it looks like snow could be possible with a couple inches, generally above 7,500 feet. So in summary here, expected impacts, I've been stating those strong winds have already developed over the west slopes of the Franklins and Oregons. So we could see gusts of 50 miles per hour, could have some travel issues for any kind of high profile vehicles along Interstate 10. Possible freezing drizzle, so we may get some school closings or delays, travel disruptions with the slick roads that could develop in those localized areas. And there may be a little, as I stated earlier, better potential along the eastern slopes of area mountains to get that freezing drizzle provided by the extra upslope in those areas. We do expect temperatures to warm up during the day tomorrow, so by about noontime or so we should start getting temperatures above freezing and melting any of that ice that could develop overnight. And emergency managers are strongly urged to monitor the latest statements and forecasts that come out of our office. Thanks for joining us today. If you have any other questions, take a look at our Facebook or Twitter pages, YouTube, or our National Weather Service webpage at www.weather.gov/El Paso. Thanks for joining us.